Mr. Eggplant presents.
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thank you for checking out this video. And I'm back here on the War Within beta, and we are finally talking about Dark Ranger. So in this video, we're going to be looking at an AoE or a Mythic Plus build for Dark Ranger, and we're going to go over Dark Ranger itself and give you guys my feedback so far. Then we'll look at the AoE build, which includes the talents, the opener, and rotation, and then we'll, at the very end, compare it from Dark Ranger to Sentinel. And I'll use the exact same talents for both builds. So there will be timestamps down below, and any build string-wise for talents will be down in the description of this video as well as the link to the single target version of this video. So, oh, and also, like I said in the previous one, this is going to be one of the last beta videos I post, since the pre-patch will be here in about 9 days. So let's go ahead and look at Dark Ranger. So if you guys are unfamiliar, for Marksman Hunter, for your hero talents, you have two choices, one of those being Dark Ranger and the other being Sentinel. The main difference between the two is that one does shadow damage and the other does arcane damage. And the main ability you get from Dark Ranger is going to be Black Arrow. So Black Arrow is something that was taken from the Survival Hunter kit way back when, like in Cataclysm, for example. So it's an 18-second dot that does shadow damage. The damage itself isn't like the big deal, but what it does every time it procs, or I should say every time it does damage tick-wise, that is what's important. And this iteration of Black Arrow will give you a charge of aim shot and reduce its cast time by 50%. It's at a 10% chance every time Black Arrow does damage. Some of the other abilities in the tree are going to include doing more damage with your two main abilities, which is aim shot and rapid fire. You can summon Shadehounds, and then also every time you use Black Arrow, you will gain a Death Blow proc. And the way Death Blow works is that you get a kill shot to use on any target regardless of health, and you don't have to have it in your talent tree, like we don't right now. Other abilities in the tree include just giving you a little bit of focus regen whenever you reset the cooldown of an ability with Black Arrow, and then just increasing your overall shadow damage by what you and your pets do. And then finally, the other one I'm going to highlight here is whenever True Shot is active, your Black Arrow deals its damage 50% faster. So, one of the main feedback points that I wanted to talk about is the fact that for AoE for Dark Ranger, you can't really even pick your main ability, or your ultimate flavor ability, which is Wailing Arrow. If you want to do that, like, you can remove Kill Zone and stuff like that, that is what I'm using in this video. But if you want to be able to pump up your True Shot and get Salvo, there is no way you can get down here to pick up Wailing Arrow or Readiness. And if you want Wailing Arrow, you really need to pick another point to get to Readiness. So that really feels bad, and that's the same situation that we had back in Dragonflight, where, yeah, Wailing Arrow was in our tree, but it was too hard to get to because you have so many abilities like Legacy of the Windrunners and also Focused Aim that are 2 points when they don't really need to be, particularly this far down in the tree. And then you have a bunch of abilities like Multi-Shot and Trick Shots, Improved Steady Shot, for example, that don't even need to be points. Like, this should just be baseline. If you want to make me put a point in Multi-Shot, fine, but you shouldn't make me also put a point in Trick Shots. That makes zero sense. There's also some other build paths that are a little weird, like to get to Volley, for example, where you have to pick Serpent Stalker's Trickery or Chimera Shot. And then just overall for Dark Ranger, I felt much more focus starved than I did as a Sentinel Marksman Hunter. It's just doing less damage right now. You'll see here in just a little bit, but it's like upwards of, at least on AoE, like 200k difference. It's really, really crazy. You do get a lot more aim shots, but you don't have enough focus to really utilize them, particularly during True Shot. When you get those, you have a potential to get extra aim shots during True Shot, but it doesn't matter because you're already spamming them. Now, if we weren't on the charge system, it would be much different, like we were in Legion, but we are currently not. And then I kind of mentioned it already, but we have some abilities, and that's more of just a marksman problem in general. I definitely noticed it more as a Dark Ranger Marksman Hunter than a Sentinel, but there's just, the build paths aren't super fun, and the way that Black Arrow works, it just kind of gums up your rotation. Like, you don't really get any more extra damage from the lower quality of life, which is usually not how it works. But let's go ahead and take a look at the actual build itself here, and then we'll go ahead and show you guys what kind of damage it does for both Dark Ranger and then also for Sentinel. Alright, so just looking at the tree here really quick. So I will be running with Kill Zone, and this was a streamlined build that I posted like a week or so ago. So it does not run with Barrage or Rapid Fire Barrage, but it does run with Kill Zone, so you want to make sure that you follow up your volley with some potent abilities if possible. And if you can line up your True Shot and your volley, you are going to be doing really well, particularly in those AoE situations, particularly if you're running with heavy or light ammo, more so on the light ammo when it comes to Mythic Plus. But this is a very solid build, and all the build paths make pretty much make some sense there. The one thing I really would have liked would have been Fan the Hammer or Hydra's Bite, but we just simply don't have enough points, or honestly for Wailing Arrow, but we just don't have enough points. You could move Calling the Shots and Kill Zone around, but that's just 2 points. You could put those Legacy of the Windrunner points and Legacy of the Windrunner there, but you're going to have to sacrifice either Calling the Shots or Salvo to get down to Wailing Arrow, and that just feels really bad. But let's go ahead and take a look at this opener and rotation and see what we can do. So let's go ahead and take a look at what an AoE rotation and opener would look like for Dark Ranger. And I will say Black Arrow does kind of muck this up a little bit. But you're going to use Hunter's Mark on the target, and then you're going to go Explosive Shot, and then Black Arrow, and then Kill Shot, and then you're going to drop your volley, and then go True Shot, Rapid Fire, Aim Shot, and then Multi-Shot, Rapid Fire, Multi-Shot, Aim Shot, so on and so forth. When you're in your True Shot window, other than to get trick shots, you don't want to cast anything else other than Aim Shot or Rapid Fire, so just use whatever one isn't on cooldown. And then after that, you're just going to use your Explosive Shot, you're going to use your Black Arrow on CD. And then do keep in mind, this build does have Kill Zone in it, so any attacks you do while your volley up do 8% more damage. From there, just make sure you always have your trick shots up whenever you're wanting to cast your Aim Shot or Rapid Fire, and then use all of your Precise Shot procs after, or I should say when you're not in your True Shot window. So let's see what this opener and rotation would look like. And then here I'm going to delay my True Shot just a little bit to make sure I have my full volley out. Alright, so we got right up to that 1.1 million DPS, and that was about 2 minutes and 7 seconds. So now, just so we know, this was the build that I was using, same one that I'm about to use for Sentinel. So let me go ahead and switch that really quick. I guess I can't. I'm still in combat. As soon as I drop combat, I will reload again, wait for all my cooldowns to come up, and then I'll try that same opener rotation and build with Sentinel. Alright, so now let's take a look at the Sentinel rotation and opener. So again, the only thing that changed was this middle bit here with Sentinel. So the rotation is going to be basically the exact same thing without having the black arrow and without having those kill shots in there. So you're going to use your Hunter's Mark, then you're going to use your explosive shot, and then you're going to drop volley, and then that's going to be macroed with salvo. Then true shot into rapid fire, aim shot, then you're going to go multi-shot, aim shot, multi-shot, or excuse me, multi-shot, rapid fire, then multi-shot, aim shot, and so on and so forth during that true shot window. And then the same way with Dark Ranger, just use everything else in cooldown, and then just keep in mind that you do have kill zone in this build, so that means you want to follow up your volley with something that's going to be doing 8% more damage. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this opener in rotation. Alright, now I know my true shot is up, but I'm going to wait until I have my volley up to do a little bit more damage. All right, we ended about 1.35 million. All right, so let's check out this comparison. So the first one with Dark Ranger, we went for 2 minutes and 13 seconds, and then we went for 2:11. I tried to get them a little bit closer than the last one. So let's look at Dark Ranger first. So this is what Dark Ranger looked like. We had a ton of aim shot damage. Do keep in mind, we are in that careful aim zone, so your aim shots will be doing more damage. You'll notice we have 5 abilities, and then it just falls off, and everything else is like 1%, maybe a little bit less than that even. So we have like Dark Hound only did 0.6% of my damage, but again, a lot of this is skewed because aim shot and rapid fire are just doing so much more. But we have our kill shots, so we won't have any kill shots with our Sentinel build since we don't run with Deathblow. So we do get a little bit added value there. You have Withering Fire, which is doing 1% or 1.4 million damage there. And then we have Black Arrow coming in at 2.51 million damage or 1.8%. So this looks pretty typical. You'd have your 3, honestly your 4 main. Those should always be near the top unless you have like some good passive damage from your Sentinel build. But this is pretty good build, and we did, like I said, it was a little bit more than 1.05 million. It did go down a little bit after we were running away from the dummy. So let's take a look at the Sentinel build. So we went So from about 1.1 million to 1.3 million or so with Sentinel. And honestly, the Sentinel damage was a little bit on the lower side. You guys have seen my other videos. We had some pretty good damage. So this is probably either on the lower end or closer to, the middle. So we have aim shot doing some really good damage, just like we expected. Multi-shot crept its way up here, so I must have got more crits than normal. So I got 29% crit there, so we got some good damage there. Those could have been skewed because, what is it? If the bullet storm ones are the ones that are critting, those are just doing more damage. Let's see. Average hit was 203k. And the crits were doing 529k. So yeah, a little bit more than half there. So saw some good damage there. Rapid fire we didn't either prioritize it as much. We got 11 casts there versus, let me look at the other one here really fast. It was 11 versus 10. So we actually did get one more out with our Sentinel than we did with our Dark Ranger. But again, you have Sentinel damage here and Lunar Storm, and both of those are going to be passive, like literally. So just under 18% of our entire damage was just passives, where we didn't change our rotation at all. It was very streamlined, and we just threw everything, particularly just before True Shot when we have volley out. You don't have to worry about mucking things up with a black arrow and trying to figure out when you're supposed to use your kill shot within that 12 seconds. Because normally in AoE, you don't use kill shot unless you have razor fragments, which is way too difficult to get to for AoE in the current trees. But like I said, this is all passive damage here. You don't have to worry about trying to min-max it or anything like that. And also, just like with single target, keep in mind, Crescent Steel, we're not getting any value out of that at all because that's for execute only. So one of our entire abilities, we were just not getting any value. On average, I've seen the damage increase from about 300k or so between 3 target cleave of Dark Ranger and 3 target cleave of Sentinel. This is pretty typical. Usually there's a plus or minus of about 10 to 20k DPS on either end. But all in all, I'd say this is pretty telling that at least currently, and this is also with multi-shot not doing as much damage as it had been, and also Sentinel did get kind of reeled back in where it's doing the appropriate damage, because it was actually doing more damage than it was supposed to early on in the beta, actually like within the last couple of weeks. So right now I'll be running Sentinel for both single target and AoE, just a much smoother rotation. It's a much higher quality of life. As much as I would love to have Black Arrow out there, maybe if they take it off the GCD and then the accompanying kill shot would be off the GCD, maybe that could work out just fine. But right now I will be running with Sentinel exclusively. I hope to see them make some more quality changes like we talked about earlier in the trees themselves, but then also our tier set, since we get 0 value currently out of the tier set during True Shot, because it doesn't work in a single target. At least we do get value out of AoE, but we don't get any value in the single target. So I'm really hoping that they will get that addressed and changed. But thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Be sure and follow me over at Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Eggplant. I can't wait to talk with you guys very soon. Best of luck for the rest of Dragonflight, and I can't wait to see you in the pre-patch.